Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, hump day, 6:30 a.m., July 19th, and today is the start of when we start to see everything come clear. We have Netflix reporting and we have Tesla reporting after the closing bell today. Yesterday, as I had been saying during the weekend, and I would behoove all of you to go and rewatch or re-listen to the weekend update, as it was clear that the range expansion on the July month is very, very open for us to be heading up into the 4600s. We have all of these big names reporting later next week as we start off this week with Netflix and Tesla. And yesterday, having reached that old September 2021 high at 45.45, thanks to a complete bullshit press release from outside the company, did not come from Microsoft themselves, about charging $30 per user for their AI Office 365. Hi, good morning. It doesn't fucking mean that people are going to buy it. So we got our 47-point range. As I said, we go back for weeks and weeks and weeks, going all the way back to the end of OPEX last month, June 16th. 49 points, 43 points, and yesterday we got 47.71 points. It was due to come. It was due to come. From the bearish point of view on any kind of dip, like I said, the 5-day moving average is the maximum that you are going to get. You are not going to get anything more than the 5-day moving average. Yesterday morning actually looked a little bit promising because of the way that everything started over there on the QQQ. And I will bring you to the QQQ. We had our flat overnight as we are tonight. And then opening bell, we started to sell down. Looked as if we were going to fill that gap from the weekend. Did actually look like it. Came right down, touched that 5-minute, almost came right onto the 5-day moving average. And then started to form a bear flag. And then you got your Microsoft news. Microsoft, where are you? Microsoft, boom, boom. Right there, your news came out from The Verge. And where did it come out? Came out on Twitter. And that news came out that people are going to be forced, because they have such a plentiful amount of money, that they're going to be spending $30 a month to use the OpenAI or Microsoft AI or Kamala Harris's AI on the Microsoft Office 365, blah, blah, blah. And bam, you got your plus 20-point move over on Microsoft, which is, and I will share again, let me just pull this up on the NASDAQ, which has not been sorted out. Microsoft, number one weight on the NASDAQ. Let's go over to the S&P 500. Microsoft, number two weight on the S&P 500. So that's what you wound up with there, coming off of that from the Microsoft news. Zoom you out and bring it back in. Again, broke above that 384.28, which actually was the title of the email. And over here on the IWM, again, IWM is starting to show signs of supporting this final little move which is taking place, which is not a bad thing, but it's been a very long delayed process. In fact, we can pull out here on the IWM, and even though you're going to get a plethora of data on this chart, 180, 60 days, yeah, we're coming very close to the February highs. February, where the S&P was 41.95 for a day, coming close to that. So is what it is. You can watch it and you can delete it, or you can not focus on it. SPY, as again, we have moved and we are coming very close to that minus 5% from the correction, or minus 5% from all-time highs level. Same thing over on the NASDAQ. But it brings us in here now to the SPX. And the SPX, wider view, much wider view here is where we're looking now from an upside point of view. Short term, we've got 4605, and you could go ahead and you could even put that in there, which is going to tag right out to that March high, is right there at 4677 for the 150 extension on this. This is the bear chart that we looked at long ago. This needs to be updated, the 200, and this needs to be updated, the total number that we have moved to, as well as some of the Fibonacci's. But you get the idea that we are now moving into that point to where we are starting to get into somebody is due to fail. And that was the reason why I decided to try and eliminate the forced credit problems where, because we have been so compressed and trying to get into that tiny little range over there on the SPX to get some money, you get off of the credit idea and you start shifting over into that old-fashioned form of trading, the old-fashioned form of trading where you bought puts and you bought calls. And that's exactly why I went and took that trade, which is dated out to August. This was, again, the first breach of the upside since June 27th. It was the 8th breach of the upside since the March lows, way back here, 3808. And it comes into your compressed VIX. You have a compressed VIX, you have a compressed range. Once your range starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller, as you see here, going all the way back to April to the March lows. After that 103-point day, we've been doing more 30s and 20s than we've been doing 40s. And that's where we are right now with this little tiny move to the upside. We are now up 108% above the COVID lows. We're up 18.9% year over year, 18.21% year to date. And for the month, we are up 2.35%, 177 points, which we're starting to satisfy the minimum. However, as I said on the weekend, that 300 range is still something that should be very much respected, as we still have some very big names due to come out, as well as the FOMC meeting next week. So I leave you with, off of Microsoft, Tesla. As I said over the weekend and started saying before, Tesla has a date with 313, and 313 is going to be showing up whether you like it or not. We are due to see 313. Do we see 340? Do we see 385? I do not know. Just like I did not know there was going to be a tweet on Microsoft at 11:30 yesterday morning about $30 fucking a month from people who may or may not have to use this OpenAI Microsoft 365, blah, blah, blah. 313, 340, 385. 385, obviously very fucking clear and fits very nicely with this Fibonacci. 313 is what I said, and I am still holding to, that I would expect from earnings later on today. Microsoft, go fuck yourself. The VIX, very compressed, and now again down below this 1339. So needs to be treated with kids' gloves. Your size needs to be treated as an adult when you're going into these trades. Don't need that, but I do need this because this is the banner. And again, nope, that's not going to work. I remember that. Yes. This is what we are looking to fill, is this gap over here to 508 on Netflix. So far, we are up there into that 484 level. So it's only another 20, 25 points to the upside, obviously for this week and yesterday especially. Very big move into that gap at 458 and to push up to 484, a 30-point move yesterday. So have a fantastic morning. Have a fantastic Wednesday. And more importantly, before you go, this is where your 4-hour indexes are. Your Dow is at 93. Your SPX is at 95. Your NASDAQ is at 92. As I've stressed, and everybody has learned over the years, you can be overbought for days and weeks and even have sell divergences. Doesn't matter. But it is giving you at least a little bit of a warning sign that there's been a little bit too much food eaten at the free buffet. You get oversold, you are bouncing within 15 minutes. Have a great morning. Have a great afternoon. Have a great evening. Have a great Wednesday.